owls and eagles and ospreys. Oh my!
You can find them all at Honeymoon Island State Park.
Honeymoon Island State Park has a lot to offer, not just all of the birds that we mentioned, the owls, the eagles, the ospreys, but also you can see dolphins, you can see gopher tortoises, gopher tortoises. Apparently there's rattlesnakes here. There's lots of turkey vultures. There's a really nice beach and a nice time just to enjoy the park, I guess.
There's quite a bit to do here in terms of, I mean, you can spend a lot of time on the beach. It's 4 miles of beach or something that you can, and it's broken into several different ones, but they're all good size. We were on the North Beach for most of our afternoon, and that seemed a little wider than some of the others, so just keep that in mind. I'm assuming that's going to change as the tides change a little bit around here. But we also spent the morning on the nature trails that are here. I went for a hike, you went for a run.
Yeah, I'm training for a half marathon and I needed to get some miles in today. And so I decided to run in the trails instead of on the road. And it was a really nice trail system, although it was quite sandy in some parts. And I'm not really used to running in like soft sand. But the rest of the trails were pretty hard packed. And that's where we saw all of the birds this morning. So my run was like, run, osprey, run. Oh, bald eagle, run. Oh, more osprey. So there was a lot of running, stopping pictures. But I like those kinds of runs. Those are the best kind of runs, really.
It is a nice trail system. It's a few miles, I think. It's 2.5 miles total is Osprey Trail, although right now, we mentioned the bald eagle, there is an eagle nesting, and so part of that trail is cut off. They've got it blocked, and you kind of go out to a point, but then you can cut across another trail called Pelican Trail. Oh, there were pelicans in the air. We saw quite a few of those here today as well, and that's got a nice hike out to the water, and you go past this little mangrove area, and it's just some nice views as you're out there, and nice trails to walk on.
There was a guided nature hike at 11, and that was taking you down to the Osprey the Osprey Trail out to see the bald eagle nest and whatever else you saw along the way. And I think there are other guided ranger hikes throughout the weekend or weeks. You just have to look at the schedule. But yeah, there was also like the snowy egrets and the other water birds kind of in that Pelican Cove, in that inland mangrove area, where you can also apparently take kayaks or paddle boards out if you wanted. I didn't see anybody doing that today, but they do rent them, or you could put in your own.
It was a little chillier and windy today, so.
Yeah, it started out really nice. It was sunny and blue skies and 70 something, and then by mid-late afternoon, clouds had rolled in. It got pretty windy and chilly, so people were starting to head off of the beach a little bit earlier than normal today.
If you want to find out what people are seeing in terms of wildlife, what the conditions are like on the beaches, there is a nature center as you just enter the park, and they've got a gift store in there, but they also have some of the history of the island, which we found out by reading some of that. It was originally called Hog Island, and a rich developer from St. Petersburg bought it, set up a thing around 1940 or so, late 1930s, and decided to rename it Honeymoon Island, and built a whole bunch of thatched cottages and had this whole system set up for honeymooners to come out here.
Well, he ran a contest, so it was like 2,200 new brides and grooms applied, and if you were selected, you got 2 free weeks out here this was your honeymoon. And so it was a big deal, a big contest, very kind of like kitschy advertisement kind of thing to draw attention to this place. And then prior to that, going back to like in the 1920s, it used to be one big island, and a hurricane came through and split the island in half. So now the top half is still Honeymoon Island. The bottom half is Khaleesi, something to that effect. I didn't really catch it. Now you have to take a boat over there. But then in like the 60s, a different developer, after the honeymoon part was all over, a different developer wanted to come out here and actually build like a whole condominium and subdivision out here, and he started dredging, and luckily a number of people, local residents in the state, stepped in and said, nope, you're not going to do that. We're not going to give you the permits. It's too much of an environmental friendly area where we've got some endangered species and different stuff. So they actually stepped in and pulled all his permits, and the state bought it and turned it into the state park. So now we can all enjoy it.
Yeah, it was around mid-1970s as the state finally started to purchase the land. I think they said they started buying it like 50 acres at a time. And then when they finally had it all around 1981, 82, it became a state park. I will mention it as a state park. Your annual pass can get you in here. But if you do pay by the day, this park is $8 a car instead of $6 like you see at many of the other state parks. So I don't know if it's because it's the beach and it's popular.
We haven't figured out Florida's fee structure. There is the annual pass, but then there's some parks that the annual pass doesn't work for, and other parks that are some is $6, some is $8. I remember going to one last year, it was like $3. So it's really kind of hit or miss. We don't really understand what the system is, but that like the $8 today is a carload of anywhere from 2 to 8 people. Now, if you were just coming by yourself, it's I think $4. And if you're coming and walking or biking, it was $2. So there is other options, I guess.
Oh, and I don't think we mentioned there is a bike trail. There's a paved trail that goes around the park that you could spend the part of the day doing that as well. So, I would assume based on the size of the parking lots, this place gets pretty packed and busy.
Yeah, on really nice weekends. Like I said, today, because we knew it was going to be a little cloudy and chillier this afternoon, wasn't quite as hot as normal. So it wasn't as busy. But there's a couple really big concession stands and buildings where you can like get food, you can rent your kayaks, and while you can no longer have your honeymoon out here, you can still have your wedding here. And there were 2 signs today for like this wedding this way and this wedding this way. And so you can go out and have your wedding on the beach, which I'm sure would be very pretty. So that is still an option. So unfortunately, you cannot have your honeymoon here, but you can at least still get married.
Come out here and get married. Come out here with your bride that you already have and enjoy the day at Honeymoon Island State Park. Get out here when you can. In the meantime, keep on trekking.
And we'll see you out there.